Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel Acres of Art. Today I really want to show you how to make this really pretty little wire wrapped leaf. The reason for this is it can be used for so many different things. So what I do is I make two different types. One of them is fully enclosed like this, and one of them is a half leaf like this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to make both, because what I do is I actually use these to create sculptures. I make earrings out of them, I make necklaces, you can turn them into bracelets by attaching them all together. So there's all sorts of things you can do with these. So I'm going to show you today in this tutorial how to make one. I'm going to use silver wire because I've already shown you them in antique bronze, so I thought I might show you them in silver. So as you may know by now, if you've been watching my videos, I like to use a 20 gauge and a 26 gauge. That's generally the wire I stick with most of the time to make things. When I'm making bigger sculptures or I'm making a bracelet, I might use an 18 or a 16 gauge, but generally these are the ones I go for. If you want a link to the wires, there will be one in the description. So again, we're going to need a few tools. We've got our cutters and we've got our pliers to do our twisting with. Generally that's probably all we're going to need at the moment. And what I want to do as well is at the end of this video there's going to be a link to actually show you how to turn these leaves into a really pretty pair of earrings. So if you'd like to know how to do that, then skip to the end, watch the tutorial or click on the tutorial and it will take you to the next one, which turns these into some beautiful earrings like this. So I'll be showing you how to make those later. But to start with, let's get started on a full leaf. So how are we going to make this so that we can create this full filled in leaf? So we need to make sure that we've got a little bit of a neck to it so that it has a little bit of length to turn it into something. And we're going to create our leaf just by taking our pliers, we're folding it. I leave it attached for now because I don't know exactly how much I'm going to need and I can cut it off later. So I'm going to move that one out of the way. So I squeeze the end because I want it to be quite tight at the end, and then I use my fingers just to create this leaf shape like this. Now I'm going to make these into a pair of earrings later, as I said, so I want to make them not too big. Not the best at judging, but that's probably about an inch to an inch and a half. And then we give it a little twist at the bottom, probably 2 twists, just like that. And then we use this bit that we've got as an excess to form the centre of the leaf. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that up to through the middle. You can give it a little kink because leaves aren't always perfectly straight down the centre. And then we're going to give it a wrap right around the point. Really nice. You can see I'm pulling quite tightly now to try and create that shape and make sure that it stays. I've got a little bit of excess left over there. So I'm just going to take my cutters, hold on to the end, cut that off. And then what I want to do, because we don't want anyone getting stabbed by these little bits of wire, is I'm just going to tuck that in like so. So that creates our leaf shape, and I'm going to turn this specific leaf into a pair of earrings. So I want to just leave a little bit of length depending on how dangly I want them to be, and set it aside a minute. And I'm going to do that 3 more times because I want 2 for each pair of earrings, but you can just make 1, entirely up to you. I actually like to, this is only 1 that I made because I like to just wear 1 and have a stud in the other ear because I do unusual things like that. But for this we are making a pair. So again, actually, I know why I was going to cut that then. I'm not going to cut it yet. We're going to make another one. I always make the structure of them first and then fill them in because it's just a bit easier. So it just shows you how to make the structure a couple of times. Varying sizes. They don't need to be exactly the same. When I make earrings, they're always asymmetrical. I don't make them exactly the same because that not only is very difficult, but I kind of like the quirkiness of them being a bit different. So again, wrapping that around the end. This time I don't have to cut any off, and just give it a squeeze so it's nice and tight, and then leave a little bit at the end, and we have two. I'm just going to make two more, but I'm not going to fill them all in on this video. I'm just going to make them for now whilst we're at it. Oh, we'll come to the end of the wire. So show you that again. Nice pinch. Put my fingers in and make this shape. Twist it around. And then using that bit that's not attached to the longer length to wrap it around the end. Really nice and tight. It can slip off sometimes, but the good thing about this wire is it's quite easy to manipulate back into the place that you want it to be. Haven't done that yet though. Yet. Right, let me just bend that round the end. Again, put that off depending on the length that you want it. One more and then I will get wrapping and I'll show you how to do it. So that around. Makes interesting noise. Right. And there we've got our 4 leaf shapes to start wrapping. So I'm just going to show you 2. So I'm going to show you how to wrap a full leaf, and then I'm going to show you how to wrap a half leaf, and we're going to stop there. But for now, here's our little leaf shape, and it's the wrong one. You need, unfortunately, you can't leave this on the reel. So you basically have to guesstimate how much wire you're going to need. For a small-ish wire like this, I would guess about 40 centimetres, maybe 50 centimetres of wire to wrap around. The thing with this leaf though is that actually if you run out, you can just get another piece of wire and continue wrapping, because you can't really tell. Because it's quite closely wrapped, it doesn't really matter. So what I do to start with is I poke it through the little hole at the bottom and I wrap it round a couple of times just to get a nice secure hold, and then I start to wrap. So I'm going to go through the centre and then down through one side, wrap it around once on this side of the leaf, as you can see, push it back through the centre and then take it back to the middle, and then up through the other side, wrap it around the centre, and then this time we're going to take this piece off to the other side. So what you end up getting is kind of 2 little wraps on each side as you work your way along. So now we're going to go around the other side, we're going to push through the centre, well, the left side, then we're going to go round, back through, it's coming towards the end of this reel, so it's rather bendy and it gets in the way sometimes. And then, so as you can see, we've got the 2 on this side again, so we need to go back through and wrap it around the central piece, like so. And then we just continue the process all the way along. So we're going to wrap it around the other side and bring it back to the centre. and we're going to continue with that all the way along until we've filled the whole leaf. You may find you don't have enough wire. I'm thinking that might be a possibility, but I'll just show you if I need to. I'll just show you how to keep that connected. Right, can you see how that's starting to develop? What's really nice is you can choose which side you want to use. I actually really like this side where the central piece of wire kind of stands out, but you can actually flip it over and it creates a different pattern where the central piece of wire is actually underneath. So you can choose which side of the leaf that you want to use. So I'm just going to keep wrapping around until we get to the end. And see how the pattern starts to develop as we go along. You can do this a little bit more spaced out, so you have bigger gaps if you want to, but I quite like to fill it quite tightly. So sometimes I'll just pull the edges down a little bit to create that lovely little pattern, and then keep wrapping. I'll show you. So I'm going to stop and show you a minute. You can see how that really pretty pattern is emerging. It looks really nice on silver. I think the silver earrings will look really good. I will just continue until we get to the end. We're nearing the end now, so it's just the same process right the way to the end, and then we do a little wrap around the end to secure it, but I will show you when we get there. I don't always wear rings when I'm working, and now I know why, because they keep getting attached, so I end up taking them off. So we are getting there. Now often when you make these, one half is slightly shorter than the other. So all you do is once you fill in the one side, you just keep going up the other side. Very, very simple. Just keep going till it's all full. And that was a pretty good judge of wire, I think, the amount that I needed there, because we were nearly at the top and I've got a tiny bit left. So I will keep going and I'll show you the finished piece. So we've reached the top on that side. We've just got a little bit more to go on the other. I'm just going to keep feeding that through. And then what we can do just to finish it off at the end is just keep wrapping that around there. And there you've got one full completed piece. And as I said to you before, you've got this side where you've got the ridge going down the middle, and then the other side looks completely different. So actually you can choose what your favourite side is and which way you want to use it. So that is how we complete the full leaf. And what I'm going to do now is just show you quickly how we do the half one, which I think is quite obvious really, because you just do the same technique, but you're only doing it on half the wire. So I'm going to cut another length. We don't need quite as much on this one because obviously we're only doing half the leaf. But then I can show you what the two look like. I think it creates, when you put the two together, I think it creates a really nice effect. So we're going to carry on with this one. So the same, hold it down, poke it through the hole, wrap it around the bottom, and then we're going to start. I normally pick the bigger side. So if you look, when you actually wrap the wire around the central piece, one half is different to the other. So when I'm doing the half a leaf, I normally pick the slightly bigger side. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm just wrapping around in exactly the same way, but it's just around the central piece and back. So we're ignoring the other side, and we're just going to fill in this one half on this one, and I can show you what it looks like at the end. This one, slightly quicker process, and it does look slightly different, but I think mixing them up makes it more interesting. We're nearly there with this one, halfway up. Keep twisting. This used to take me a really long time. I would say about 15 to 20 minutes per leaf, but I have got much quicker now. So as you practice, you get quicker and neater. We're nearly there. Continue to wrap right the way to the end. Ooh, smash the microphone, that's probably not a good idea. Right, we've got to that end now, so I'm just going to wrap the excess around because I kind of like the look of the extra wire at the end. And there you go, you've got your half wound, you've got your fully wound one, and after this tutorial there's going to be a link of how to turn these really pretty little leaves into a pair of earrings, but you can use them in all sorts of different ways. I use them in my sculptures, as I said at the beginning, but you can make lots of them and turn them into a bracelet. You can do all sorts of things with them. So I hope that that was useful in terms of a new technique, something that you might not have seen before, something new to try. And if you hang on till the end, the other tutorial to turn them into earrings will follow. So if you like what you see, please do click a like, make a comment, let me know your thoughts. If you ever want to ask me a question, please go ahead and do so. And I look forward to catching up with you again soon.